Rebels are everywhere. They're the people who say fuck it to the status quo. The ones who won't stay down no matter how many times they fall. Those rare humans out to change the world and share their story. Rebel, a podcast celebrating creative rebels and entrepreneurs. This is Rebel.
Welcome to episode 44 of the Rebel podcast. I'm your host, Michael Dargy. Today I'm talking with Adam Thompson. He's the owner of the Friday Sock Company. Now, the Friday Sock Company sells ethically made, purposefully mismatched socks all over the world and is also one of our amazing show sponsors. We talk about Adam's entrepreneurial journey, why Friday socks are so important, as well as some timely advice for any rebels in waiting who might be listening and ready to do their own thing. Check out Adam's company at www.fridaysocks.com. And now here's the show. Hey, welcome to Kensington Studio. I'm Michael Dargy, and I'm sitting here with Adam Thompson from Friday Sock Company. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm wicked.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for coming down.
Yeah, no worries. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. So just to bring people up to speed, Friday Sock Company, it's really close to my heart because I'm a sock enthusiast.
That's good to hear.
But you took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So can you give us sort of the breakdown of what it is that you do?
For sure. Well, yeah, we definitely... we try. So we started the company about 4 years ago, just because I wore socks in a kind of a corporate environment, and I couldn't find what I had thought of for as an idea, which was a matching mismatched design. So we got started, and right now we're 4 years on. We're in over 300 retailers in Canada and the US. We have a monthly subscription that's pretty popular, and we do we do some corporate stuff as well. So we custom make socks for different companies who want some swag kind of thing. Yeah. So there's 4 of us now. I have 4 staff, and we have a small warehouse in the Northeast.
Oh my God. So sorry, but mismatched socks.
Yes. So everything we do is purposely mismatched. So we and it's probably one of the best parts of what I do is looking at the relationship between things. Yeah. And then you have to design it in a way that people instantly will get it. They will understand what the concept is of that particular design. So it's kind of fun to come up with a theme and then try to, okay, what imagery can we use? What design can we use so that we can lay it out in a way that people really understand what this is?
Oh my God. Now, does it matter if you wear it on the right foot or left foot?
Yeah, we always suggest no, it doesn't matter. I know. It's funny though, so that some of the kids will because we do the kids socks and we do 3 socks that mismatched by design. Yeah. And so some of the kids will actually, they will say, no, I'm going to have this sock on my right foot always. And I'm never, it's really fun. Yeah.
I don't know. I can relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I always want to have my pink Argyle on the right foot.
Exactly.
Makes a statement.
Yeah.
It's bold.
You should be able to do whatever you want. Yeah. It's perfect.
So so I have so many questions, but the first one is, I thought my sock game was strong. I pale in comparison. So, my Friday sock game is going to get much better from this point forward. Why mismatched? Why?
I just again, to explore the relationship between things, it's interesting to do that. I wanted to have a funky sock company, but there are lots of other brands out there that will do the regular kind of patterns and stuff. Yeah. And so first I wanted to do something a little bit different. It's a little bit of a rebelliousness too, because working in a corporate gig and having sort of not as much autonomy as you'd hope. Yeah. For the environment I was in, Friday was the day that I could wear jeans and no suit and
right. Okay.
So it's just it's a little bit of a wear funky socks on the Friday, and then it kind of snowballed into this. But the whole reason behind the mismatch is just to be a little bit different. It's our core purpose as a company is to evoke a positive reaction in the people that either get our product or buy our product for themselves. Yeah. So it's just a little bit of a creative way to make somebody, have that positive reaction or smile, put a smile on their face.
Yeah, right on. I think it was comedian Stephen Wright. Maybe I'll get his first name wrong, but he said that it's not. He goes by thickness, not color, in his socks.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter what they look like as long as they're the same thickness.
Everybody, it's crazy because you think like such a niche product like socks, but being in it 4 years, there's a lot of there's a lot of layers to there's a lot of layers to socks that you never really knew existed. But
Really? What? Give me some examples.
Just people's preferences. Some people will only wear wool. Some people will swear by a certain brand, or they'll only wear ankle socks, or they only like a certain amount of tightness around their calf, or it's too little, it's too much. Or they only wear black. I know a person that just will only wear black socks for their whole entire life. And just like people have really kind of neat little idiosyncrasies when it comes to such a niche product. But yeah.
What are your thoughts on toe socks?
I don't have any thoughts on toe socks. Probably, I don't think I would wear them, so I probably wouldn't make them. Yeah, okay. But, yeah.
You had talked about sort of custom designing the socks. So they are mismatched, but they do go together.
That's right. And we do that. If it's a pattern, like we'll do polka dots and stripes, for instance, and the colors will mismatch.
Yeah.
And the polka dot and stripe will too. But we try to find the similar themes that go together. We, when possible, incorporate colors from one design. So we're working on a kid's design right now. And to give you an example, there's a cactus pattern, a cowboy hat pattern, and the third one is like a sheriff's badge pattern.
Oh, okay.
So we have the cactuses that are green, and we have the sheriff's badge that is yellow. So we incorporate the yellow onto the cactus as a flower on the cactus.
Gotcha.
And then we incorporate the brown from the cowboy hat into the cactus, as well as we put a little bit of sand under it, or what looks like sand. So we try to, whenever possible, use the same colors so that aesthetically you glance at it, and sometimes it might be hard to even tell they're mismatched, but then you look up, and then it clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we go back, you said you wanted to, have sort of a funky sock company. You're in the corporate environment. Friday was your fun day.
It was my favorite day. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I believe you get your socks manufactured in Italy?
Yeah.
Is that right?
At the beginning, we did manufacture in China.
Okay.
I went through 3 different manufacturing partners there, and it was a real struggle. In the beginning, because of 2 things, because of the quality of manufacturing we were getting there. Not to say it's not possible to get good manufacturing in China, it certainly is, but the quality of manufacturing we were getting, along with my my lack of experience. And so over time, now it's been 4 years, I know a lot more about socks than I knew when we started out, and that's from making mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we went through a real pain point, and we made the decision that we're going to find manufacturing in USA, somewhere in Europe, or even South America. So I'm in these like industry groups.
Yeah. Okay.
And and there's other websites and stuff that you can kind of start finding manufacturers through.
Yeah.
So you find some. It's kind of like throwing stuff against the wall, because you find a bunch of them, you write to them all, you get samples, and then you start to see who your best relationship's going to be with. Right. And so we just settled it on a manufacturer in Italy. We have 3 now, 3 factories that we use in Italy. But it took, at the beginning, it was just kind of narrowing it down. I think the most important thing whenever you're manufacturing is the relationship, because even now there are problems. There's always going to be problems whenever you're manufacturing any product. There's problems. So finding somebody that will be on board with helping you fix it and really become sort of a partner with your company is super important.
So which part of Italy?
So it's northern Italy.
Great.
There's 2 big
Milan-ish.
Yeah, so there's I guess if you were from Milan to Venice, so there's a big in the middle around Verona, there's like a big knitting industry.
Oh, neat.
So like a sock industry in that area.
Wow.
And so when we go to different factories, though, we could drive for 2 hours between the factories.
Oh, wow.
Because it stretches out a little bit. But
beautiful place to go driving around.
Yeah, we love going, and every time we go, we tack on a little bit of a fun trip after for a few days to relax. But yeah, it's not a bad place to be.
That's great.
Yeah. So
Italian socks, and I think I saw a tagline somewhere that they're ethically sourced.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
So that's So saying something is ethically made is pretty subjective. Yeah. It's really comes down to the people that are working there. Have you observed them while they're working? When they don't know you're there, where are they being made? What are the laws that that country has as far
okay.
as labor laws and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And then what materials are you using? So for materials, we use Okotex cotton. It's a certification. Well, it used to be European certification. It's worldwide certification now, but it's everything that's all the yarns that are made that our socks are made out of are tested for harmful materials and made in an eco-friendly way. Okay. So whenever you're making anything with poly in it, so plastic,
Yeah.
which people don't realize, but latex and spandex and nylon, those are all plastic derivatives or plastic products. So anytime you're making a product like that, you're going to have wastage. So is that wastage recycled or is it just thrown away? So part of our certification, I mean, our as much that can be recycled is.
Yeah.
And then going to Italy and going to the factories, the 3 that we use are all family owned. So it was a grandparent and then handed down,
nice.
like a great grandparent, and then handed down. For 2 of the cases, the other was one generation. But we go there, we talk to the owners, we look around. People are, generally happy. They look like they're enjoying their job. They're paid a wage that is in line with the labor standards and laws, and so we know that it's not a place where people are being overworked. They also get 2 big national kind of holidays. Well, for manufacturing, they get during the summer, everybody takes. So I can't use the factory for 3 weeks during the summer because everybody's off.
Yeah, and
then over the holiday period, there's another 3 weeks to a month that it's shut down.
Interesting.
So they get quite a bit of vacation as well, and so.
Yeah, that's good. When I visited Italy, it was that was the thing. During the summer, everybody's gone traveling, doing stuff.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah,
Totally.
And, but really relaxed.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. I really like the culture there. It's quite a bit different than here. So it's when I go there and we go out for dinner,
it's 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yeah. So many times. I went once on my own and I was just kind of like waiting around. I'm like, okay, I'm really hungry, but no restaurants open till like 8:30.
Oh yeah.
So I had to wait.
And then and then you eat from like 9:30 till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
It's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed it out there. So it's funny, when I first saw mismatched socks and ethically sourced, I immediately went to free range socks that, you know how you lose a sock?
Yeah.
That, maybe they're corralled and brought back to.
Yeah, that's exactly. All of our socks have a lot of area that they can run around and play in.
Nice.
And so, and they never go on anybody's feet unless they've said that that's where they want to be. So,
yeah. I like your philosophy that life is too short to,
life's too short to wear matching socks. I think that's an old Dr. Seuss quote. I hope I, but yeah, that resonates with me because that's another philosophical thing. Like such a, I guess, an item of clothing that you really don't put a lot of thought into. Well, the general public doesn't put a lot of thought into. Can actually be this like happy thing, right? You get home from work. What do? You take off your shoes. And you look down, and it can be a little bit of a lighthearted moment, right?
Absolutely.
And so I really do believe that life's short, so might as well spice it up a little bit.
That's awesome. Yeah. There's nothing better than sitting in a board meeting. Believe it or not, tattoos and all. Yeah. Like I do corporate stuff. But when you sit there and you got your suit on and you kick up a foot and you've got a really cool flash of color or some weird design, and everybody looks at it and goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yeah, it says a lot about the person wearing them, right? Like it's a really easy, especially in a corporate environment, to show your personality in a real simple way. And I mean, when I was downtown working, and like ties were kind of, I wore a tie every day, but it was coming out of style a little bit, and socks are on the up and up. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, did you see yourself as a sock magnate?
No, I have a lot of ideas, and I'm constantly bugging my wife about all these ideas I have. And when the company was started, it was really kind of like I wouldn't shut up about it. So she's like, just do it. Just do it and stop talking to me.
You're obsessed.
About all these stupid ideas. Put your notebook down and just do it. So so I invested, I think, 10 grand on a credit card. And got the first 6 designs made, and kind of started going to markets every weekend, and really
sort of like farmers markets.
Yeah, there's like locally in Calgary, there's Market Collective and like a few others, and so that was our first every single weekend. And then I would work in my job, come home, eat dinner, and work until midnight or 1.
Wow.
And I did that for a solid year. I wrote a blog post a little bit about it a couple years ago, but just reflecting on it, it was a really hard year.
Yeah.
And it hasn't gotten any easier, but it just gets different as the years go by.
Well, so talk to me about that. So, I mean, entrepreneurialism is not for the weak at heart.
No, if I were to, I used to moonlight as a comedian when I was 18 to 25 probably. So I'd go to Yuck Yucks and I'd write bits and I'd do my thing. And we had one person, I can't remember where the source of this advice came from, but this person was basically paraphrasing this advice that is out there in the ether. But he was saying, okay, you guys want to be a comedian. My best advice to you would be to not be a comedian.
Interesting.
And his advice was that because you're going to take that to heart. If you take that to heart and you second guess yourself and maybe don't end up being a comedian because then you weren't cut out for it anyway. You basically have to take my advice of saying, don't do this. Throw it out. And just be like, what is this guy talking about? I'm going to do this. You have to be passionate enough about it that you will go ahead. So my best advice for anybody that's, because it's a buzzword now. It seems like, people are having all this freedom and they're on Instagram and da-da-da. But I would say to anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur, don't. There's way easier ways to make money.
Right. Run away.
Yeah. Well, work for somebody else. Have your weekends, turn it off at the end of the day and not have to. But with that said, I say that, but at the same time, I wouldn't have it any other way. So it's just this crazy compulsion to, to earn a living from the proceeds of my imagination. And, that's kind of why I have to do it. So.
Yeah, that's outstanding. So the first year was weird because you were doing double duty.
Yeah.
Right? You're working a full-time job and you're working a full-time job.
Yeah. And the hardest part about that isn't because I work hard naturally, but the hardest part was that you don't see any monetary anything from your efforts.
Right.
Because everything goes back into the business. So it's almost like working this really hard part-time job that doesn't pay you any money. So
just a possibility in the future.
Yeah, you're putting everything back into product and inventory, and then as you grow, you need different tools, website tools and apps and subscriptions, and the list goes on and on. So as you grow, I think, it was probably almost a year and a half, 2 years before I actually started paying myself.
Oh wow,
something.
That's a long stretch.
It's a long haul, yeah.
Yeah. So you said you've got 4 employees.
Yeah, we do now, yeah.
So that's got to take some of the weight off, but does that just mean now you can do more stuff?
So it's because we're at a real interesting position. We got our warehouse maybe 8 months ago. We grew, but I had the philosophy of trying to be as lean as possible for as long as possible.
Perfect, yeah.
So I chose the path of working myself to the bone and not spending any money that we didn't have to spend for the longest possible time frame. And then it became apparent that we'd need more space. So we got the warehouse, it's about a year ago actually now.
Yeah.
And then we slowly added a part-time employee. Yeah. But it's really been this last 8 months. We hired a full-time, we hired somebody else, and we've just hired somebody else. And then I'm working as hard as ever, and then my wife helps out. So,
jeez.
And then we have freelancers and stuff that help us with things from time to time. But it's only been, so we're at this interesting kind of position where I'm spending a lot of my time now trying to manage what other people are doing.
Right.
So, and I still do work, obviously, at the same time, but I spend a way larger portion of my day now than before kind of going, oh wait, if you can get started on this, and then setting up projects that need to be finished, and then monitoring those projects and seeing them through to conclusion. So, did
you have a hard time letting go of the stuff that you used to do and give it to other people? Is that part of the thing that you're going through?
Yeah, it's hard because nobody's ever going to do it. I'll say this: nobody will ever do it. I won't say as good as you. They won't do it the same way as you.
Right.
And so you have to struggle with that kind of thing where it's like, maybe I'm not doing it the best possible way, and this person, even though they're doing it differently, is probably going to end up doing it better.
Yeah. Phil, I was reading Shoe Dog from Phil Knight, and he said something along the lines of, don't tell people what you want done, not how to do it.
Yeah.
And let them surprise you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And that's got to be a struggle. Like
Yeah.
I'm a solopreneur, always have been.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine. Every once in a while, I'll dip my toe in and I'll try and bring somebody on as a junior or whatever, and it just drives me crazy because it ends up taking more time than it.
It does. So, I mean, when it's a specific project where it has to be done a certain way, it's really spending the time up front to set expectations and even implementing some KPIs that you can kind of keep checking back on. It's a good solution, but I kind of tend to go, this is what we need to do. You have 100% of my trust. Go do it.
Love it.
And then come back to me with what you got.
That's bold and risky.
I can't remember who it was, but there was some advice that somebody, on all these things we hear and listen to and see in the social media world, somebody said that it's super important to give somebody trust up front. And then if they break the trust, then that's another thing, but to just give it to them at the beginning, because like you said, they're more than likely going to surprise you potentially.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let them rise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, man. So are you what's your goal for yourself?
Yeah. So my goal for myself has always been to kind of make every day, and it's a bit cheesy, but make every day a Friday. And what I mean
I
by
love that though.
Yeah,
That's nothing cheesy about that.
Yeah.
Do that.
So the whole point of that would be Friday was always a day where you get some work done, but you also kind of had a bit of freedom, and it was like that celebratory feeling that it's the end of the work week and heading into the weekend. So I just found like myself, I was a bit more light on my feet on a Friday and happier. So it's just to kind of get that feeling and it's really sort of a subjective and ambiguous goal, but it's like, that's the feeling that I want to have every day. So on a personal level, that's my goal.
Love it.
And then it's to create and foster an environment where you're free from the shackles of the typical corporate culture. So culture is a big thing to me at work. So we have our normal office hours, but making sure employees understand that if they're running late, it doesn't matter. Like, make it up and don't write it down anywhere. Just do it. And
right.
If you have something that's going on that day, just go do it, but get your work done, and like really treating everybody like they're an adult. And so I'll get away with that as long as I can, but I want to foster that kind of environment.
Yeah. Well, but I think that ripples through. If you start with culture, like, build the cult into your business, that's going to go so far, especially when you're new, right? Yeah.
And there was I think it was the owner of Patagonia. He had said in something that, these big companies that want to all of a sudden shift their culture, it's pretty much impossible.
Oh yeah.
And he said that it starts with the very, very first hire, and it's so important. That stuck with me. It's important to really get that, and that goes into making sure you're hiring with your core values and stuff as well. But
yeah, that's cool. Like locally, Earl's started in Calgary. I want to say they started in Calgary. But they used to fly their chefs all over the world,
right?
Like teaching them different techniques and cuisine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they really built this culture of knowledge and fun and sharing, which rippled through their brand for years to come.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. You're definitely on the right foot forward.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
cheesy sock pun.
Yeah, well, everything. I think everything is like when you own a business. Until it gets maybe really big, it really is a reflection of you. So it's a reflection of what you value, what you find important, and so in everything that the business does internally and externally, even down to customer service, it really is. It's kind of you, and you kind of getting your staff aligned with that, or hiring the people that align with that kind of outlook naturally. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting stuff.
That's cool. So what's your favorite pair of socks that you've ever designed?
Oh, I don't know. I probably think...
do you have a favorite? Baby?
It's hard. It's really hard. That, you know what? It's probably the... this might be a bit lame, but it's probably the blue stripe and polka dot pair.
Yeah.
Just because I remember wearing them, and I was still in my job, and I was downtown in the core somewhere, and I was waiting to meet with somebody, and I had just like you said, my pants were a little bit higher than my shoes, and you could see my socks, and somebody like walked by and said, "Wow, wicked socks." And it was just like such a moment of pride for me.
Yeah, right on.
So either those pair or another pair, my wife saw somebody on the transit system wearing our boats and anchor socks way back at the beginning.
No way.
And she sent me a text. She's like, "Look, somebody's," and that was like another huge moment of of like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So both those designs, just because of those two instances, are probably my favorite right now.
Yeah, it's fun. I saw a thing yesterday about the Calgary Zoo released a bunch of grouse or prairie, whatever they're called, partridges into the wild, right? Reintroduce them.
Oh, cool.
And I ran into some just down the street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so it made me think of this, because when you release stuff into the wild, it's always fun to sort of see it out interacting.
It is,
in the world.
And it's so much easier. Like I couldn't even imagine before social media, but now you get that from all corners of the world. Like you have somebody in Germany being like, sharing a photo of a pair of our socks. That
Amazing.
It's just really cool to see.
What's your thoughts on social media?
I think it's important to, well, it's obviously important to business, but I think it has to be a reflection of what you enjoy. So as far as social media goes, and the different, you could bury yourself in trying to do every kind of social media.
Yeah.
My advice is always to find the one that you identify and find the most joy in, and really do a lot with that platform.
Yeah.
So for me, that's Instagram. I
love Instagram.
Yeah. I do stories. I put out photos. And then the other ones don't really, I still do them, but they don't really, they don't spark joy. So as much joy. So I don't really spend too much time on the other channels, but that's my advice.
So at Friday Sock Co. is your Instagram.
Yeah, that's right. At Friday Sock Co.
Now, it's not just because I'm old, though it could be, but stories I just can't wrap my head around, because they disappear, right?
Yeah, they're 24 hours. You can save them, I think, or they get archived, but I don't ever save them.
Why? Like, what's the point of them then?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's no point. Maybe, but you can kind of see, like, I have maybe over 1,000 people watch my stories on a daily basis. So if which I mean, in the big world of social media, it's not that many.
No, but that's a respectable
It's
number.
cool. It's local, mostly local. It's people, but it's really the interaction I get that I enjoy. So if I put something out and somebody reacts in a positive way and they say, "Oh, that's awesome," thanks for sharing, or I do this thing every month where I give myself the Employee of the Month award, and I've done that for too many months. Probably have to switch it up soon, but and then I will record that on a story, for instance, right? And a lot of people
are you like,
I hold a meeting and I say, this person's really been outstanding this month, and then I have a printed Employee of the Month certificate that I present to myself, and one or two people usually walk away at that point, but it's still very funny, and they know that I'm doing it just to be comedic. So, but a lot of people will watch that and they'll think it's they'll find the humor in it. So
that's hilarious. You said you were a comedian. Do you still do stand up?
No, I don't. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the science of comedy, because there's, you look at somebody like who would I think of, like Robin Williams, who was like the best at kind of off the cuff,
right?
But what people don't know is that he had written everything down, like, and he had just done it long enough that things that he would come up with off the top of his head, so to speak, were probably just something that was a bit in another piece of material.
Just found a way to repurpose it within context.
So as far as comedians, like Seinfeld has a documentary, and there's some, but it's the science of writing comedy. So it's coming up with like the premise, and then boiling it down to the key components and writing it down so that there's a structure of a joke and a punchline. I've got friends that are comedians. They talk about tagging. Tagging onto bits. Where you basically, you boil it down, you do your bit, and then you tag on an extra bit that sort of refers back. Totally, a callback. Callback. Some people call it callback, but so you have those things too. And when you think of a tag or a callback, it's like, it's just amazing. In the moment that you're writing it or you're doing it, or it comes naturally when you're on stage. It's just like this little tiny moment of brilliance that you can enjoy, because there's a lot of writing, it's a lot of work, and then you go on with 10 minutes and you maybe keep a minute or two because the rest wasn't funny. And
how do you think that helped you in your entrepreneurial game to be able to take the 9 minutes of silence?
I often compare the two things, because that's kind of what it is as an entrepreneur building a business. You put it all out there, and then you keep the best bits and you learn from it, and you build sort of a portfolio of the things that are valuable. Right.
Yeah. Now you said you're in 300 stores.
Yeah.
And you've got a monthly club.
Monthly club, yep.
So the monthly club, what does that account for in terms of your business? And you don't have to be specific, but
Yeah, no, it's good. So
what does
it's,
that weight look like?
It's the monthly club is more seasonal. I don't. The monthly club is for fans of Friday Sock Company, as opposed to being and maybe I'll change this in the future, but it's not really a part of the business that I proactively go out and really push.
Oh, really?
And I'm not that aggressive with it. I'll run some ads around the holiday season.
Yeah.
But the people that are on our subscription, we have a pretty high return rate. So it really, and it was always meant to be sort of the fans of Friday Sock Co. could have a monthly subscription option.
Yeah.
You know, where you get a ton of stuff in the mail and you're getting something in the mail that like makes you happy every month, which is cool. But as far as our business, I mean, it's a probably smaller part of our business, but it's there. It's a tangible amount, but it's not a huge part of our business.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're selling into retail outlets?
Yeah. And that's a sort of a bigger part. So and we're careful. We don't want to be in every store. We've always had that philosophy. We're not a brand. You see some brands that they blow up and they're in every single store. Yeah. But I grew up in a family that we always had a small business, and so
fun. I
feel a lot. And my parents own a store, so I feel like when you're in a store as a brand, you're kind of responsible to make sure you're not in the store across the street at the same time,
right? Because it impacts that business. You want to be able to have people go to that business and find your product. But for that reason, maybe they come to that store for your, okay. So it's a lot down to relationships, but like once I have a store and we've got to know each other a bit and I follow them on social media and I kind of get a feeling for who they are, I have no interest in being within a certain geographical kind of area that they're in. Do you worry about shelving and, where you're seen? Like, is Friday Sock Co. about? Yeah. So merchandising is a factor because we're mismatched. So it's what keeps me up at night because it's hard to like, when a customer walks into a store and they're looking at a product, they're looking at it at a very surface level. They're not like reading and stuff. Right. So that is something we continually try to figure out. And so what we did is I used to make displays in my parents' wood shop out of wood and this like pegboard stuff. And then my God, we moved to a different type of display where I'd buy parts from an actual display, but make the rest out of wood. Anyway, we have trying to save money. You got all sorts of time on your hands. Well, I was just trying to save money in the beginning, so I was trying to do everything possible that I could do DIY. But now we have a 2-tier spinning rack, and so we offer it free with an order over 128 pairs, so it's just enough pairs to fill it. Oh, okay. But the important thing there is like, especially in a store that has other sock brands, we want to be able to like control that aspect because we can put a sign, and we do have a sign that really highlights the mismatched concept. And for other orders, we provide like an 8x10 point of sale display, just with a story about who we are. Because customers will go in, they'll read that. But if we just send our product to stores and allow them, or not allow them, but trust them to just put it anywhere. Yeah. Sometimes they'll get it right, sometimes they won't. And we want to make sure that we're trying to get the consumer to see what we're doing as easily as possible. Do you see yourself with an actual Friday Sock Co. store sometime? I've kicked it around. I'm not that interested in having a retail store. Yeah, and franchising it across the planet. Yeah, no, I thought about doing like a sock store that has a lot of different brands. Yeah. And you go to we had a trade show in Vegas it was last month, I think. And then, so we were walking around through the casinos to where we were doing our booth, but there's like 3 big sock stores. And so they're out there in different markets. There's nothing like that here in Calgary that I know of. Yeah. I've seen them in Seattle. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, we don't, I just, the thought of being tied to retail, and I think and I'm sure there's a really good business in retail, but it's, we can do it online, and we can have people that just want Friday Socks to just buy us online, so that's kind of our direction, but it may change in the future, who knows? Yeah, well, cool. Yeah. And I would say stick with what you're good at. You're good at creating mismatched socks. Yeah, and I was in sales a long, long time, so it's like calling and building a relationship with a potential retail partner is kind of in my bucket of skills. So that's kind of what we've been doing. Oh, that's good. Yeah. How many pairs of socks have you designed?
100 150 at least.
Oh my God.
Probably more than that maybe about 200.
And what's your most popular one that you sell?
Bacon and eggs is pretty popular.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's like a cycle to it. So you come out with a new design and it's really popular, and then I might think it's the best design we've ever done. But in the next year when you come out with new stuff, it will you'll sell a lot, and then the newer stuff will sell. So it's really cyclical. Like it just depends on what's the newest kind of thing. So it's hard to pinpoint which one would be the best sellers, but anything that's obvious is pretty good seller.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So what's for you, Adam? What's next for you?
That's a good question. I'm in the process of kind of developing in my brain what my 10-year goal is.
Okay.
So I don't know what that is yet. I know that I want to, with the purposely mismatched sock concept, I want to be the company that is known for it, like the Nike of, like people think of purposely mismatched socks.
Yeah.
And not in a way that's like like not in a real kind of popular vanilla flavor way, but more in like we know about these guys, they're doing it right and they're really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that more so than even being known for doing funky socks. It's really important to me personally to be known for the design concept that we have.
Yeah.
But as far as tangible things, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a goal to make a certain amount of money as a company. I have a goal to implement a really awesome culture, to do as many cool designs as we can, to be as creative with it as possible, and to gain some notoriety within that kind of creative business space.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you plan on retiring ever?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'll never retire. Ever. My parents will never retire. I'll never retire. I don't even like the thought of it, to be honest.
Yeah, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, it's weird, hey?
Yeah.
Like, I just have too many things that I want to see come alive.
Right.
You know, it's just such an interesting process to think of something, to have it in your brain, to let it marinate for a while, to then take an action that ends up, fast forward to, however much time passes, a product or something that's there that somebody can touch. It's really cool so I could never stop doing that.
That's crazy. Do you have any aspirations to underwear?
Yeah. I've thought about it. I've definitely thought about it, and I've thought about how I could pull it off. But what we decided as a company was because I think oftentimes what a company will do is they'll make this this mistake where, in my example, you were doing socks. We do it for 3 or 4 years. We get a lot of designs, and then we go, well, let's start doing t-shirts. Right. But they do it before they've explored everything there is to do with that product.
Right.
We haven't done wool socks. We haven't done athletic. We haven't done no-shows. We haven't, there's so many things within the sock category we haven't done that I really want to just keep doing socks. And then once I feel like we have a super well-rounded offering, then maybe branch out. But I'm so sporadic, I could change my mind on my way home, and we could launch.
It's gonna be parkas.
Yeah, who knows?
Friday Parka Company.
Who knows? But I'm trying to like really stay focused in one direction because I can be sidetracked so easily.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. Like, because you got all these ideas, it must be a real struggle. Are you? Yeah. And you don't have to answer this.
I am. Yeah. Very
ADHD?
much so. Yeah. Very much. Yeah.
And I mean, that's got to be a struggle.
It is. And I mean, it's like pretty. Like if you were to take a group of 100 entrepreneurs and like say, how many of you have attention deficit to some degree? It'd be pretty big percentage. I don't know what it would be, but it would be 85 at least. But it's hard, but it's also a kind of a gift because it allows you to bounce around and change your focus constantly, and that's kind of what you need to do as a business owner,
right? To tweak and
go and be able to and change what you're thinking about in a second. But the problem is definitely trying to keep your eye on the prize and stay somewhat focused.
Yeah.
And with employees and staff members, it's really something that you notice because it impacts them. So you really have to pay attention to how much they are perceiving that you're paying attention.
Right.
And I am, but I'm thinking about other thing at the something else at the same time, and I might be like looking around, and they're like, "Is he really paying attention?" So you have to just make eye contact and make sure that they know you are listening.
Right. Put on your. I used to call it putting on your people suit.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
pretend to be like everybody else. So
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that you embrace that fact, though.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's just. I think it's helped me more than it's hindered me, for sure.
Yeah. You said that you did some talks. So you get out there and you share your story with kids.
Yeah. Well, I did most recently was a high school where I shared my story, and it was just I think it's 45 minutes of kind of how to get started. And the one big thing for me at that talk was that I'm not university educated. I had because of my attention deficit, I had a lot of I had problems staying focused in school.
Yeah.
I wasn't a dumb kid. I just couldn't focus on anything. So for me, I was there to tell them that there are other pathways. Not to discourage them from going to university by any means, because that's right. A much better thing to do. And nowadays you have like all these different things in university they didn't have when I was going to look at it. But more so for the kid that maybe is there that has the same issues as I had, and for them to know really that there's other alternatives to the traditional way of doing things.
Right. You can still be a success. You can still have a life.
You can still and maybe give them like a teaspoon of inspiration or something. So that was really interesting. But yeah, anytime I get asked to do a talk, I'll usually do it. I did a talk for the Rotary Club, and I was on a panel for entrepreneurs at I think it was Globe Cinema downtown.
Oh, good.
I think I can't remember what it's called, but yeah. So I've done a few things like that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And from your comedy background to your entrepreneurial background, do you like being on stage and talking about your stuff?
I don't mind it. I just have to do it in a way that's off the cuff. I can't write down and have a checklist, because I'll screw it up if I do that. But
interesting. If
I go there and I don't put too much pressure on myself, and you know what it is too is it's different between comedy and this, because comedy, you write a set, you write it based on your life experiences, but you do it in a sort of outrageous way, and you embellish.
Yeah.
So it's not purely 100% honest when you're doing comedy, other than the situation. But in this role that I'm in, I just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I started, and it's really simple, because I don't embellish anything. I just tell people what it is actually like and what I've gone through, and that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah. So would you do it again?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what I mean by that is, would you do Friday Sock Company again?
Yeah, I'd have to. Like, I'd have a compulsion to do it, and whether it was socks, I would say like we do socks, but really it could be anything. It's more about a creative design concept to me. I love having a product. It's branding. It's building a culture.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't socks, I would do something else, but it would, definitely I'd have to do it again, because I wouldn't be able to do the traditional type of role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your least favorite job growing up?
I had a lot of least favorite jobs.
The big sigh.
Oh yeah, I did all kinds of stuff growing up. My parents my dad owned a construction company, and so I would help him all summer, and I'd try to go fishing as much as I could in between lugging wood around.
Yeah.
But I cherish those memories, so that's probably not my least favorite. It would be I worked at a hay plant. When I I was going to high school, and I would finish up my day at school, and I would drive to the hay plant, and I'd work the night shift until 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
And so it was like hay bales go into a conveyor belt, get compressed down to a really small hay bale, and I'd have to check moisture and like stack hay bales, and like it was dusty and it was horrible. Yeah, that's probably the worst job I've had.
All right. What's your best job?
This one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
What do you do when you're not building a sock empire?
I think about so we bought a soy-based candle company last year.
Cool.
So there's a lot of work that has to be done with that. So kind of tweaking that as we go. My wife owns a greeting card company called Little May Papery.
Geez, you guys don't stop.
No, and she's got a big distributor in the U.S. So we always kind of bounce ideas back and forth and strategize and stuff. And I would say this, like if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be really sensitive, and especially in a relationship or partnership with the other person. If they're not like that, that's tough. Like you have to really find a way to unplug so that you're not constantly talking about what you're doing or what you want to do and stuff like that. It's just, but because we're both in the same boat, we can spitball stuff back and forth and talk about things.
Nice. Do you guys have pets?
We have a hairless cat.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's the cat's name?
Minky.
Minky.
I don't know why. I think Leanne called it.
Like a hairless Manx?
Yeah, it's like a sphinx.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty interesting animals.
That's cool. Are they smart?
Yeah, too smart.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, really annoying because they're too smart.
Right, getting into things and...
Yeah, oh, it knows. There was a situation where our 2-year-old was waking up way earlier than before. So waking up way too early, like an hour and a half before. We're exhausted. We're like, what is going on? Why is she waking up so early? And it turned out that the cat had over time figured out that if our kid wakes up, then it'll get fed. So it was scratching at the door super early to wake the kid up so that it could get fed early. Like, it's so annoying.
Damn it,
Yeah.
Minky!
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. What's your favorite place to vacation? Do you vacation?
Yeah, we do. My wife is British.
Yep.
And so we go to England every year.
Oh, nice.
Christmas
Which
time.
part?
So she's from Hampshire,
Okay.
near Basingstoke. So we met in Australia, and then I moved to London, and I was there for almost a year, and then I moved back, and then we did long distance for 3 years. And long story short, went to Vancouver and then back. Anyway, but as far as vacation, we go there every year. I'd say that's a pretty good spot because it's like a second home as opposed to a vacation.
Oh, that's nice.
We've been to Anna Maria, Florida a few times. So last year we were able to get away for a month. And it was, it's such a sleepy little, it's getting more populated now, but it's such a sleepy little, there's a tram that's free that you take down to the beach or you move it. Like it's
fun.
Good restaurant. So it's a good place too.
Cool.
In Italy.
So do you find then, like, were you inspired by the Italian lifestyle of, making sure that you take that huge chunk of time off to stay productive, or is it just how you're wired?
It's just how I'm wired. I go a bit crazy if I sit still for too long.
Yeah.
So I have to, even on vacation, I'm at my laptop trying to, and I used to say to somebody, because I didn't really understand, I would say, oh, you don't really, like, did you get a chance to unplug? And they say, well, I don't really want to unplug because, other than like a couple days, I'm really interested and I enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah. And I feel that same sentiment. Like I'm away on vacation, we go to the beach, we hang out, we do stuff, but then I can still plug away and get something done.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I go away, we went to Manila last year and I worked for 5 hours a day. Yeah. And then the rest was, hangout relaxation time. Yeah. But I found I couldn't relax if I wasn't doing what I do.
Totally. Yeah. I did, like, we're talking about what we're going to do this summer, and I think we'll do something a bit more low key. And I'm really pushing to get away for even 2 or 3 weeks to somewhere where there's no cell phone service. Oh. I think that would be, because you're forced then to like actually talk to each other.
Right. Well, and you could sit down with your notebook and start writing and, not have
what's a notebook?
Right.
Yeah.
Not this.
Yeah. I think it'd be really interesting, especially with Ella, our 2-year-old, just to, get away and get away from technology for a few weeks. So we might do that. We'll see.
You guys going to have more kids?
Yeah, thinking about it,
2's a weird age.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think if we have another one, like, obviously we want another kid, they're like a blessing, and they're so amazing to see, like 50% of you in this mix match. Yeah. And they learn, and you just like get to watch the human development from the beginning, right? It's crazy. Yeah. We'd want her to have a sibling. So yeah, it's definitely, it's on the agenda, and whoever knows, but yeah, we're definitely thinking about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. You gave some advice earlier. Part of what I love about this show is asking entrepreneurs like yourself what advice you would give other entrepreneurs. Now, you did say don't do it. Yeah.
Go find something else to do.
I will, out of the, almost 50 of these that I've done, that is the first time I've had that response.
Yeah. It's true, though. Yeah.
Run, don't walk.
Yeah. My best piece of advice for anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur is to get really, really good at Google. Like, learn how to Google everything, because that's what your life is going to be for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how to do this, how to do that, where to find the...
Finding forums and finding people that are talking about the technology that you have to figure out or something, right? There's always something.
Is it kind of like a DIY world now, do you think?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's a revolution as far as I'm concerned. We have the Industrial Revolution and all these things.
So a knowledge revolution?
Yeah, this is like the world is tiny revolution suddenly, where you can own a business that reaches the other side of Earth and ship stuff out. And so what happens now with these big companies? I think they're going to see a lot of market share go to divvied up among. It's more of a co-op now. Like everybody does everything.
Right.
So it's really interesting to be in like doing business in this kind of an environment right now, for sure.
Wow. Huh. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, it was kick-ass. So I will put all the links to the stuff we talked about in the notes. Thanks again for coming.
Yeah, awesome.
You're a crazy rebel.
You bet.
Hey, thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors, Make More Creative, for the top-notch audio support, and of course the Friday Sock Company for making every day feel like Friday. And hey, we just launched a Patreon page with some amazing rewards, and we'd love for you to become a patron of the arts for the Rebel podcast. You can be a member for as little as $5 a month. What? Why wouldn't you do that? It's amazing. Coming up next episode is comedian and rebel soul Victoria Banner. Now don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, because we've got some amazing guests coming up next. Until next time.